Okay. Oh, that's weird. You came on there before you came on here. How strange is that? Good evening, darlings, and the microphone's on, isn't it? Good evening, and a very warm welcome to This Is Going to Put Me Off. This is going to put me off. That is out because at 11 o'clock, I'm going to give away some channel memberships, but I don't need to have it open until then. It's just going to put me off. How are you, darlings? How has your day been? Monday, so good to me. Has it been a good one? Has it been a bad one? What have you been up to? Have you been to work? What did you have for lunch? What did you have for your evening repast? What was the best and worst moment of today? Did you have an improper thought at an inappropriate time? Take that one where you want to take it. And just hello to you all. Now then, I can't do a leg Roman. Who have I got? Jimmy Quinn is with us. Good evening, Boaty. And did you have a good day? I did, Jimmy. Thank you very much. Oh, the lovely Pingu Concord is with us. Have you been unexpectedly busy today, Mr. Unsuitable Tool? How rude. There's nothing unsuitable about my tool, I'll have you know. Well, that's a matter of opinion, I suppose, isn't it? Not an unexpectedly busy day, no, but unexpectedly lovely day, I think would be fair. Trace is here, the Greenwood. Good evening, all. Good evening, Boaty. Hope your day being blown about and blowing off in Wales has been a good one. It has, Trace. Thank you. Oh, Barry's here. That guy from SETI Alpha 5. Good afternoon from Missouri. Good afternoon to you, Barry. Oh, and hello from Karen. Oh, Karen's here. Best behavior, Karen's here. Karen was kind enough to step into the breach when a notable member of the community decided not to be part of the community anymore. That left a gap in the shithousery element, and Karen has kind of put at least one of her beautifully delicate hooves firmly into that space, and very welcome it is too. A little bit of shithousery makes a Monday evening go with well, it makes it go with something or other. Oh. I thought it was appropriate. Hello, all you lovely people, says Barry. Evening, Boaty and all, says Peter P. The M11 is also with us. Good evening, lovely people, and evening, Boaty. Hope your day went well. As for the M11, planning permission is being sought to install humps on the slip road. What are your thoughts on this? Gosh, humps on the slip road, eh? So, you know, you're being presented with obstacles before you've even got going at full speed down the main carriageway. Interesting. I'm going to cogitate on that. Good evening, Boaty and chat, says Chris McGuire. Speed humps on a motorway, says Barry. That's a good way of getting a load of Clive Anderson lookalikes. Bloody hell, Clive Anderson. There's a blast from the past. Now, my friend Clive James, was somewhat put out by Clive Anderson because Clive Anderson became TV's Clive, whereas Clive James always used to be TV's Clive, even though his real name was Vivian. Good evening, says Dave Smith. And good evening, Dave. Mystic Hair is here. Good evening, Boaty. Good evening to you. Name me -1 who has been well and truly under the weather. In hospital, indeed, says, hi all, still alive. Oh, that's good. But having to sleep a lot more to recover. This is just a flying visit. Well, you have all of our best wishes for a swift and complete recovery, name me. Dave Smith says, here we go. The shithousery is starting, and starting early. I left a comment on Mustard's latest video about his nose hairs. It needed to be said. Did it, Dave? Okay. Well, okay. Feature 1. What do we think about Mustard's nasal hair? Apparently. Wouldn't look out of place on a double bass, says Mr. K. Bad Books is with us. Good evening, Dan Peters. Lovely Dan Peters. Good evening, Mr. Boaty. Hope you're well. I am, and thank you. Lord Stiff Upper Lip is here. Hello, Boaty, me duck. Oh, that's very Derbyshire. Hello to you. The lovely Neil is here and asks how we're all doing tonight. Oh, Trish is here. Good evening, Jason and chat. Hope you had a good day. Good evening, Trisha. Hello, Neil. Pingu says it's time. Now then, Allegro man. Barry always has inappropriate thoughts, and presumably that's coming from Karen. Well, you know, I mean, that's got to make for a successful marriage, hasn't it? A perpetuation of inappropriate thoughts. Inappropriate thoughts, says Trace. I'll stop having them daily once I'm dead. Oh, a hidden comment. The first hidden comment. You don't have to stand on ceremony for me unless you act like a cock. That's been a lifelong thing, Karen. I'm too old to break the habits of a lifetime. Yes, love the mustard t-shirt. You'll get 60 in chat tonight, says Trace. Mr. Stephen Paddy from Port Sunlight in the Whittle, the Leisure Peninsula, where we passed today and which we could see from the beach on which we spent an hour or two. Hi, Jason, old chap. Hope your day's been better than mine. Had my DPF cleaned, but still need to spend money, so I'm broke again. Oh, dear. Oh, dear. Oh, and he loves the top. That's kind. I used to love Clive James's end of year show. What was the name of the ugly bird who couldn't sing? Margarita Pracatan. Margarita Pracatan. She was fabulous. She was, and I don't care if she couldn't sing, and I don't care if she was ugly. She was just brilliant and amazing. And Pracatan is Spanish for like wow. So that was her stage name. Her real name was Hilda Grunge. Oh, Sophie's here as well. Hello, Sophie. How's John doing these days? Asked Mr. Stephen Paddy. He's all right. He's keeping quiet. He'll be waiting for his operation to be rescheduled, of course. Pingu says, Boaty, your channel could do with some more beauty and less beast. Bring in the Bernard. You'll get a glimpse of Bernard in the days to come. And I can't say anymore. I've said too much already. Gosh, 40 of you watching. 40 of you watching. That's very nice. I'll show you my shirt again. See if that helps. Come on. Let's get to 50. Let's get to 50. Let's get to 50. No, it's still 40. That's her. She looked like my old maths teacher. Ick. Margarita Pracatan was fantastic. I wonder if that stuff is copyrighted. Oh, I wonder if I could sneak it onto some videos. I'd forgotten about good old Margarita Pracatan. If you've never... Yep. She must be on YouTube. Margarita. Yes, here she is. Here she is. Oh, go on. We've got to do it now, haven't we?
Often children will do what they see. Start good daily habits together. Halib Orange Vitamin.
It's tough being your own boss. You have to
Bloody
pretend
adverts.
that you understand words like non-operating income and chart of accounts before your mind drifts off.
And now, as your tour of Britain continues to leave audiences shaking their heads with disbelief, here to bring an already transcendental experience to an overarching incandescent apex, will you either swallow that chocolate or put it back in the box for Margarita Pracatan?
Here we go. Oh, here we go. I make it bright surface in only you. They gonna make it there. I make it anywhere. It's up to you. New York, New York, New York. Now that, darlings, is what you call entertainment. Absolutely fantastic. Oh dear, where did I get to? It was definitely the shirt that brought in the new people. If we get to 50 viewers, does the shirt come off? Oh, bloody hell, I've gone down to 33. Quick, get the shirt back out. If you want to get rid of some viewers, just play Margarita Pracatan. If I just put my tits above the table, there we go. It's not the same when I'm sitting behind a table, is it? When I was sitting on a hotel bed, it was a lot more visible. So I hear you are bellied. Oh, right, we're back to. I told you the mustard top helps, says Trace. We're back to old Father Ted. So I hear you belly dancing now, Father. What do you think, says Skick, of these old-time rockers that keep going, like Susie Quattro, Debbie Harry, etc.? Well, why should they stop? Why should they stop? I love the idea that, right, if you go into I don't know if it's still the same, but you go into an old age people residential home, and if they want to give the old dears a good time, they get some old scrote in to sing all of the war songs. Well, in a couple of years, the people who are in bloody old age people homes now, they grew up in the swinging 60s, didn't they? I would have thought, trying to work it out. So good on the old rockers. Somebody has just done a nice thing. Who has just done a nice thing? Oh, it's Mustard. Mustard is. I thought you already were a channel member. But oh well, there we are. Welcome to channel membership, Captain Mustard. Oh dear. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. Yeah, so keep on rocking. That's what I say. Don't let the old man or woman in. When I was a teenager, says the M11, I used to get told all the time that I looked like Susie Quattro. Well, lucky you. I'm sure you got plenty. Barry's excited about Margarita Pracatan. You did have her style back then, says Trace. Oh dear, don't spell my name wrong when insulting me. Barry has gone to get ear defenders. I just punched him on the arm for the fat joke, says Karen. Quite right too. Sorry, it's when I do voice texting. It always misses out the E. Hello, Sophie. Hello, everyone, says Mustard. Sorry, I can't stay. Have a great live stream. That's very kind. So, hello and goodbye. It's gone to 33 because of the tuneless singing. Yeah, but it's back to 40 now, isn't it? Rock and roll, baby. Oh, Sean, hello. Is it really last night of being 49? So, well, enjoy your last night of being 49. But remember, 50 is the new 30 or something like that. Oh, that gives us a theme to for tomorrow's night live stream, doesn't it, darlings? Sean's birthday celebrations. And we'll do that whether he turns up or not. We don't need much of an excuse, do we? Happy birthday for tomorrow, dear boy. And hope you have a fabulous day. And I hope you're enjoying your birthday month. I mean, we are very privileged because Sean is actually telling us when his birthday is. Doesn't do that to his own viewers, darlings. Only us lot. His own viewers just get told that he gets a birthday month. Unless he's changed that, I don't think he narrowed it down. Joe is here, Cars with JC. Evening all. Madre mia, says Pingu. Of course, you would speak Spanish, wouldn't you, Pingu? Hi, Sean, says Grace. Happy big birthday for tomorrow. Sorry, Dave Smith's comment is just. I can't read it out, Dave, but that is properly funny. Oh, Simone is here as well and says, how do? Skick says, Emma, if you have a look at Susie Quattro, what are you doing at the weekend? Happy birthday, Sean, says Jimmy Quinn. And Sean says, I'll eat your slice of cake. Well, thank you very much. We'll have a belated birthday celebration when I'm down, Sean. And so you can have yet another official birthday. You can be like the Queen and have a couple. And I will, damn it, I will buy you a slice of cake. Not a whole one, just a slice. Not £9 worth, though. Oh, and Emma replies to Skick, no, Skick, that was when I was a teenager. Now I'm told I look like Paloma Faith, whoever that is. Everybody saying hello to... I can't read that out, Barry. Dear. Oh, more best wishes to Sean from Mr. Stephen Parry. Cake is a made-up draw. Oh, God, we're onto the cake now. Of course, all of you channel members are entitled to cake, and I would recommend that you turn up and bang on the door and damn well demand it. Oh, excuse me. Right then, darlings. Not many of you are telling me about your day, but nonetheless, I'm going to tell you about mine. As you know, today was filming the episode 2 of the Welsh Thing. And I'm not a channel member, says Emma Lemon. So I guess that means no cake for me. It does, and it means you don't get to see the daily diaries either. If you would like to be a channel member, M11, then you have 3 options. Number 1, you could pay a nominal sum. Number 2, if you can't afford the nominal sum, you could say, oi, Boaty, I can't afford the nominal sum, and I will send it to you. Or hang about until 11 o'clock. Make sure you've got your I accept gifts thing ticked, and you might get a free channel membership when I give some away at 11 o'clock. Oh, Simone has been filming for her second channel today. Blimey. Who is Mrs. Mills? Asks M11. Has somebody said you look like Mrs. Mills? Mrs. Mills was a pianist of the... Oh, Tracy said you look like Mrs. Mills, says Jimmy Quinn. Mrs. Mills was... she was a celebrity pianist from way back in the day, a kind of female version of Bobby Crush. I've had a fantastic day, says Joe, working on Eric. A bit of cleaning and maintenance. I've also booked a viewing on an MGF Trophy 160. Oh, that's brave. That's brave, a 160. Boaty, are you saying M11? Asks Simone. Yes, Simone, I am. I am indeed saying M11. Not all of the time, but when I'm saying M11, I am saying M11. Sometimes I say other things as well. Now, in a 2-hour live stream, there's a very good chance that I'm going to say many things, but I can guarantee that M11 will probably be one of them. Dave Smith says, I have a T-shirt that says, I love boats. Sometimes, Dave, that started so well, and then I can't read it. Dave, thank you very much for the lovely comment that you left on my most recent video, the collecting the 623. That's very kind. Thank you very much. I really appreciated that. 160s are good, says Neil. Well, they wouldn't be my choice. Power delivery is too peaky, and and they're less reliable. I would much rather have a 135 with a remap, so that you've got a bit of torque, because it gets a bit boring having to get over $4.5 grand before anything starts moving. Hey, what? Oh, he is saying M11, says Trace to Simone. And the weird thing is that it's the road that goes to Norwich, which oddly enough is where Emma lives. Well, there you are. That's probably why she got that name, isn't it? Chris McGuire says, I got up at 9, went to the wholesalers and collected gear for tomorrow's job, and then went home and played on my W140 S-Class, nearly ready for the road. I've got no idea which the W140 is, but I will admit I do have a big old soft spot for the S-Class. I'm not a Mercedes fan, not by any manner or means, but I do have a soft spot for the S-Class. My favourite video of Sean's is reducing the utility bills, says Skick. Right, okay, feature number 2. Which is your favourite of Sean's videos? Mine would be... Oh, I don't know. I don't know, actually. I don't know where. Well, I'd probably have to say the one with me in it, wouldn't I? Oh, Ben, was that 11 o'clock? Oh dear. Somebody called me the Clackmeister in a comment on Mustard's bloody video. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. There are some heads that I need to sit on. M11 says, hey Tracy, don't tell them all where I live, otherwise they'll be jumping straight onto the M11 to get to me. Blimey. Gosh. Now there's a thought to conjure with. The entire community jumping on the M11. Blimey. That's one for the bank, isn't it, Emma? So, my day. First and foremost, I have to say that Windsor Davis, the Rover 623 GS very much I, is an utterly, utterly superb car. I can't think of a better car for a trip to the seaside. So, yeah, that was absolutely fantastic. And there were the normal Mustard and Boaty disasters that you would expect. But it was a very enjoyable day. Had an excellent lunch. Well, as excellent a lunch as you can get from McDonald's. I don't mind a cheeky McDonald's. It's kind of a road trip thing with me. I would never have one normally, but on a road trip, I do enjoy a cheeky McDonald's. And Mustard had a double cheeseburger meal. I had a Big Mac meal without the cheese, obviously. I'm not an animal. And with extra pickles, because, I mean, just why wouldn't you? And we shared some chickeny things, chicken bow selectors with a barbecue saucy dip. And that kept us going quite nicely. So yeah, we met up in Warrington. We met up in Warrington, jumped into the car together, went to the seaside, did some filming. Obviously, I've not really had a chance to look through the content properly. Hopefully there won't be any great disasters like, you know, having it set on slow motion or the sound not being there or something. But all being well, I think there should be enough footage to edit a half decent video together out of. We were lucky with the weather. It didn't rain. I mean, it wasn't exactly beach weather, but the beach was absolutely fantastic. It was almost deserted. It was quiet. It was tranquil. The sound of the birds. It was lovely. It was absolutely lovely, and need to spend more time at places like that. Yeah, no, it's a shame it wasn't a bit later in the year. It would have been fabulous to have a picnic on the beach, you know. And it's a proper old school sandy beach as well. And a really, for those of you who don't know the place, it's a real old school tiny resort. There's a bloody great big caravan park. There's a couple of pubs, ice cream shop, a fairly crappy little arcade, and that's about it. And on the beach, there is just a beach, and it's a hell of a long beach. It stretches as far as the eye can see. And it was nice, you know, brought back a lot of memories of that night. And yeah, it was just all good, really enjoyable day. And as I say, no massive disasters. The car was just an absolute delight. It's, oh, what a car. What a car. Wasn't too bad on fuel either. Took it steady. Had the cruise control set to about 62 most of the way. And it was, yeah, it was all good. And now I'm just really excited about getting the video together. It's going to be a lot more intricate than I normally do, because there's going to be, you know, there's a whole backstory that I've got to manufacture by overdubbing stuff and voiceovers and whatnot, and pulling in other footage. But I think we got plenty of really good stuff at the beach, and I just can't wait to knit it all together. It's going to take a while, but hopefully I'll be able to get it out for sort of Thursday night, maybe Wednesday, with a bit of luck and a following wind, but more likely Thursday, I think. It's going to take a few days worth of spare time to do, but yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Where did I get to? Oh, there we are. Yeah, that's right. 11 o'clock. Hi, Skick, says Simone. How the devil are you? Oh, and Dave Smith says it was a very good video. You're very kind. Thank you. I genuinely did appreciate that comment, because normally it's something about me working in the chip shop or whatnot. And I wondered if you were being sarcastic for a second. And no, I thought, no, that is just a lovely comment. And I thought, well, thank you very much. Ben is here. Evening mustard lovers, says Ben. Does anyone know what sort of power you get from a 105 with a K-Maps map? Asks Frank G _05. I don't know, to be honest. Somebody else might. I've got a K-Maps map on Mingebag, and it's brilliant. To be fair, they're not cheap, but it's brilliant. Joe says, I am brave. I've got my big boy pants on. Looking forward to buying it. It's been remapped, got plenty of torque, plus it's a rare model now. There we are. I'm not bad, Simone says Skick. Hope you're good too. And I've heard it's about 10 brake horsepower more, says Fran. Quite possibly. I always go down the A12, says Jimmy Quinn. Better road. And I think we all know that he is... he's making a what's it there, isn't he? Oh God, I've forgotten the bloody word. How can I get a mental block on that? Oh dear. That's age for you, isn't it? A perfectly normal, natural word that you've known all the euphemism. Euphemism. Yeah, I think we all know that Jimmy Quinn is talking euphemistically when he says, I always go down the A12. Better road. Yeah, we all know what you're saying there, Jimmy. No comment on that one from either of us, says Barry and Karen. How do I tick the thing to accept freebies, please, says M11. Dunno. Maybe you can't do it until the freebies pop up. So when the freebies pop up, it'll be a thing at the top of the chatty box, and you have to click on that, and then it will say, it'll show you the accept gifts option. I don't know how to get to it otherwise. There might be a way, but I don't know. Somebody else might tell you. Joe says, Simone, I will have to visit you soon. Connie needs her belly treated to anti-rust. W140 was the one that Lady Di crashed in, says Chris McGuire. Oh, I quite like that one. Jimmy's still at it. It's a poo road, the M11. I mean, this euphemism is becoming less euphemistic, Jimmy. But yeah, I think we all get what he's saying. And, you know, what a man does in his own time is his own business. As the Bee Gees once said. Which was your favourite Bee Gee? And do you think that Anthony Waddell Thompson looked like a squashed Bee Gee? A Bee Gee that had been, you know, slightly compressed? Oh, Joe says, Simone, I would... Oh, hello. Oh, Dave has gifted 5 memberships. Right, click on it, everybody. Click on the thing at the top of the doings and make sure you've got the accept gift things ticked, and you might cop for one of the memberships that the lovely Dave Smith has just generally gifted. So get on with it. Click on the thing at the top and click on accept what's it. And we will see in a minute who got the membership. Dave, that's very kind of you. Thank you very much. Oh, excuse me. So we'll plop through the messages and then we'll get to see who got the very generously gifted channel memberships. Simone, I'd love to meet you, says Joe. I'll also polish your headlights for you. God, the euphemisms are flying left, right, and centre. What happened to the picnic, says Trace? Don't know, miss. Didn't happen, miss. I kind of thought that as Mustard was, because Mustard got nothing out of today, you know, other than spending the day with his mate. Just out of the kindness of his heart, I asked him if he'd do it with me, and he said, yeah. So I thought the least I could do is buy him lunch rather than make him bring his own. And it's, you know, it was a bit of faff, and I thought there's a chance the weather isn't going to be too good. And there was a chance we were going to be short of time and I needed to crack on with the filming. So I was going to treat us to lunch at the pub at the place itself, but we were a bit later than planned and we were both starving. So we dived into a McDonald's, and I don't regret it, to be honest. Tick on the dollar sign at the bottom, Emma, says Jimmy F500. Oh, there you are. Is that how you do it? Tick on the dollar sign at the bottom. Right, there you go. That would be very cool, Joe, says Simone. And the M11 says maybe they filled their picnic basket with McDonald's. No, we filled our stomachs with McDonald's is what we filled. I'm partial to a McDouble, says Barry. Oh, is that an American thing? Don't think we get a McDouble, do we? Both selector. Sure. I can't read that out. I quit McDonald's 2 months ago, says Simone. Well, I'm not, I only ever do it on road trips. But yeah, I think it's a perfectly good option. I genuinely enjoy a McDonald's. I wouldn't do it too often, but on a road trip, why not? Adds to the day, adds to the experience. Did you see, asks Skick, Clarkson got that question wrong on Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. What's the longest motorway in the UK? The M6, the M5, or the M1? God, I wouldn't know that. I'd have to guess. Barry says the M6. Oh, I suppose it is longer than you think, because it goes like that, doesn't it? I mean, it goes from the M1 right across the top of Brum, and then it sort of goes north, doesn't it? And it goes up like as far as Carlisle. So is that longer? But then the M1 goes all the way from... Well, the M1 goes for bloody miles. Where does the M1 start? I'm trying to think. The M1 goes on forever. I mean, it goes all the way down to London. And then where does it start up top? I mean, hang on, I'm trying to think. So Junction 29 would be where you get to me. Then you've got Sheffield. And it goes past Sheffield. It goes up to Leeds. And I can't think where the M1 starts or finishes. I genuinely can't. Somebody will tell me. And somebody will know the answer to that. Or Barry might be right with M6, for all I know. By the way, there's no Astley or Ashley Road in Wannington, says Skick. Aspley. Aspley. A-S-P-L-E-Y. Aspley Road. And it was off... it was off something foot. Bridgefoot. Yeah, it's off Bridgefoot. Right in the middle by the river. Diddly-do. The door sign is on the one, says Trace, in capital letters, so she's serious about it. Oh, God. Okay. That better? There you go. The door sign has been unwonked. Mustard did an unforgivable thing today. I am so particular about the position of my camera in the car when I'm doing the filming out of the windscreen, the dash cam. There's only one mount that will allow me to get the phone into the position that I want it to be. And thank God, they were suddenly discontinued on Amazon, which is where I bought them from. So I bought every one that was available on eBay, and I don't think that they've come back for sale anywhere. So thank God I bought them when I did. And then I fiddled for ages and ages and ages. There's a mount in each car. It doesn't get moved. They don't get moved about. And I obsess over the exact positioning so that they're not on the wonk in any way, shape, or form. And I was setting up my camera, and Mustard said, "Just turn it towards you; it'll be easier." And twist it. Oh God, I could have murdered him. Oh, correct, says Skick. Clarkson said the M5. No, sorry, he said the M1. Well, there can't be much in it, I wouldn't have thought. Did the price go up like crazy at McDonald's in the UK? like in the US? Asks, oh, Sherry, gotta be me. I haven't been to any restaurant in over 6 years. And if I pick fast food, it would be Burger King over McDonald's for the burger. Right. I don't know if they've had a massive price hike. What I can tell you was that the McDonald's we went to was in Wales, and unlike in England, if you want your food to take away in a bag, then the bag, the brown paper bag, which is free in England, will cost you a shilling, 5 new pence. So that's a different thing, but I don't know about prices. I think the shortest motorway is the M32, says Jimmy Quinn. Possibly the M67 is quite a short one. I watched a programme this evening on TV about smart motorways, says Joe. 79 lives lost due to errors of smart motorways. So sad, they need changing ASAP. I don't think I've ever been on a smart motorway, says Frank G, and I think I'll keep it that way too. And it doesn't sound in any way smart to me, says Barry. Poppy's Travels, who isn't actually called Poppy, is here and says, can't you smoke on YouTube? They don't like it. They don't like it. Happy 50th for tomorrow, Sean. The cake looks amazing. Oh, I haven't seen a cake. There must have been a video come out that I haven't seen. Oh, hello again, says Mustard. Mustard is back. Now then, the gifted memberships. We come on to the gifted memberships. Thank you again, Dave Smith. Who's got them? Well, Poppy's Travels was gifted a membership. Pingu Concord was gifted one. Mr. F was gifted one. Andrew Buttigieg was gifted one. And James Ray was gifted one. And Dave says everybody should be a channel member. Oh, it would be lovely if everybody was. Dave Smith, good chap, says Mustard. I might still give away some more after 11 o'clock. Oh, cheers, Dave, says Pingu. Just when I broke free from the daily diaries. Yeah. Tough titty, Pingu. Take it like a man. They've been better since the 600's been on. What have, Neil? They've been better since the 600's been on. Oh, don't know. I'm not a big fan of McDonald's, but it's good when you need something quick, says Frank G. Oh, and he says it 4 times, just for good measure. Where did you buy Sheeson's new full set of brakes from, asked Joe, as Halfords are very well priced, and then discount with my trade account. I haven't bought them yet, Joe. Haven't bought them yet. Need to get them sorted for next Monday. Oh, hello. Oh, I see. Thank you, Neil. Neil is saying that the daily diaries have been better since the 600 has been on. But of course, the daily diaries have now, sadly, had to go to channel members only so that they don't annoy the algorithm. You've all heard me say it before, but for those who don't know, the algorithm, if you put a video out and it doesn't get very good views, then the algorithm will knock you down and not show your videos as much. And of course, most of the daily diaries that I was putting out, they were just designed for the inner scrotum who know me and know each other, and they were just for them, really. So, of course, they didn't get terribly good views, but I realized, or it was pointed out to me, that they were doing quite a lot of harm to the channel, so that when I put a video that was intended for a wider audience, it wasn't getting shown, and the analytics showed that. They showed that my click-through rate was very good, well above average on YouTube, but that my impressions rate, the amount of people that YouTube showed my video to, was extremely low, and that was because the algorithms hated me. So any video that is likely to not perform well, I now have to either way. Well, I was either going to have to put them on a completely different channel, which didn't make any sense, or I was going to have to put them in channel members because the algorithm doesn't take any notice of channel member only videos. So there you go. They ended up being channel members. Hang on, I just need to rinse my wine glass. There we go. And we'll pop that in the freezer because it is 14 minutes, darlings, to wine o'clock. We'll put it down here. And time to put the wine also in the curry freezer. Oh, I've already done it. How's it looking? Oh, that's lovely and cold. That can just go back in the fridge now. That is beautifully chilled. Lovely. Ah, splendid. Oh, this is fun. So where did I get to? M11 says, I don't think Frank likes McDonald's. I'm really hungry now, says Mustard. Have you not eaten? Have you not eaten anything? You must have eaten something. You're a growing lad. You can't survive on what you had for lunch. It's not bad. It just makes you feel awful after, says Frank. I don't think it does. I was going to say it's got to be the M6, says Neil. Oh, it's London to Leeds. London to Leeds, says Barry. Thank you. I couldn't think where it started. So what does the M1... So Leeds. So does the M1 end when it meets the M62? Or something like that? I can't picture it. I can't picture the end of the M1. I can't picture it. I mean, I know the end of the M5 at both ends, because obviously in the north it meets up with the M6, and then in the south it fizzles out. Well, I used to commute down the M5, didn't I? When I was living in Devon and working in Birmingham, a daily commute most of the time, as I've told you before, and in a Rover 100, because that was Lisa's car, and Lisa nicked my Porsche to take 5 miles down the road to the park and ride in Exeter. I mean, it did save me a fortune on fuel, to be fair. Although I think there were a few weeks I did it in an XR3. God, that's right, the XR3, an XR3i, because there was a bump in a road near the cottage, and I took that a bit too quickly and had to call the AA out because the car cut out, and it had a fuel cutout switch on it that I didn't know about, and you had to reset it. Somebody feed Mustard, says the M11. It does start near Leeds, not far from me, says Frank. And he only says that one twice. Pocahontas 100 is with us and says, hello, Boaty, hope you're well. That's very kind. I hope you're well too. Bad Book says, Tracy, door sign on the wonk means it's been pottering. How does it? I don't get... What's the connection between the door sign being on the wonk and pottering? Oh, dear. Oh, Poppy's Travels is saying, sending blessings and thanks to Dave Smith for the gifted channel membership. The M6 is 37 miles longer than the M1, says Jimmy Quinn. Blimey. Sherry says, got to be me, of course. Popping in one more here because I have to get back to another live. So you were talking about mayonnaise as I was spooning it out. I love mayo. I also want you to know you could have been a James Bond. Gosh, I'll take that. I would have loved to have been a James Bond. That would have been absolutely fantastic. Well, thank you, Sherry. That's very kind of you. Dave is apologising to Pingu for making him a channel member, so he has to endure the daily diaries again. The AA, says Neil, was at the forefront of putting a ban on new smart motorways. We've lost a lot of vans due to them. They're on trial until 2030 now. If they're proven to be not safe, they will have to be put back. Don't forget to like, instructs Jimmy Quinn. I did remember, I remembered you weren't Poppy, but I didn't remember your name, and it's Claudia. What a lovely name, Claudia. Claudia. Now, every woman that I know who is called Claudia is an absolute beautiful work of art of a lady. Yeah, absolutely true. Every Claudia I know is stunningly attractive. So well done you on having such a name that the mere sound of which brings to mind beauty almost beyond words and compare. Oh, no, I've asked this question before. Children's TV programs when you were a kid. Nobody ever remembers this every time I ask it. Does anybody remember Tea Time and Claudia? My name is Tea Time. My name is Claudia. Maybe I imagined it because nobody else ever remembers it. Somebody tell me you remember Tea Time and Claudia. Your hair would look good Brill Cream back boats, says Skick. The M11 says, no, leave the hair. Wild hair is good. It's getting a bit too wild. I keep meaning to go to the barber and have it used to be my annual head shave, but now it appears to be a biannual thing because when I start to look too much like Ken Dodd, you give me grief. Tricky chaps, Motorway, says Peter P. Got to be me, Sherry. You drove 6 hours round trip today. And why are all your roads so winding? Well, I can probably answer that for you, Sherry, actually. Our roads most of our roads, especially the smaller roads, are what are called county roads. And they have a lot of age to them. And when they were designed, then they had to work around farmers' fields and farmers' property. So, and that is why they often bend and go like that, because they're working around the parameters of land ownership, basically, and they had to sort of wend their way in between them. Now, historically, of course, when the Romans built roads here, then they were straight. And obviously, when we build brand new roads, then they tend to be less windy than the older A and B roads, as we call them. But of course, for you in America, all of our roads would seem impossibly windy and probably too small as well, because obviously, you can drive in the States in a dead straight line for thousands and thousands of miles. I've done exactly that. It's a good job, really, that American roads are so straight, because American cars don't go around corners very well. There, I said it. Okay, one more question, says Sherry. You say staff curry, so that's a version made for the employees. Yep, that is exactly right, Sherry. That is exactly right. It's a curry that we make for ourselves. It's not on the menu. It's not available to customers. And it's very different than anything that is on our menu. What we call staff curry is actually a very traditional Himalayan Nepali curry from the very rural villages in the foothills of the Himalayas. Totally different to any Indian curry or what most people consider curry. This would be totally, totally, totally different. And it tastes a million times better. It's, you know, it's harder to make. It's more intricate. It has a lot more ingredients, but it's also incredibly healthy. So, yeah. But you're exactly right. Staff curry is a version made just for us. What we don't do it every night, but on nights where there's enough of us working there, then we take a chicken, and we, you know, skin it, butcher it, and just make one pot of curry, and we all just help ourselves, basically. I'm just about to eat a whole packet of chicken drumstick fillets, says Mustard. Good for you. Although that'll be a little bit dry. You want something a bit moist with that, do you know? I'm not sure why it's putting my comments multiple times, says Frank. I don't mean to. And he then goes on to say, I'm not sure why it's putting my comments multiple times. I don't mean to. The M1 connects to the A1M, says Jimmy Quinn. Ah, right. That makes sense. I mean, I should know. I've been on it because, well, I dated a girl in Newcastle, didn't I? Her name was Newcastle. So that was up there, wasn't it? And I had, I kind of had in-laws up there as well. Fiance number 2 or 3. 3, I think. Fiance number 3, her brother lived up the A1M way. Frank G, it's not a curry made from the staff. We haven't got enough staff as it is. The last thing we can do is put them in the curry. I'm going to head out, says Barry, and possibly Karen. It's curry night. Oh no, it's obviously Karen. We're going to head out. It's curry night. I have made Barry Momo based on your recipe. Brilliant. Oh, good for you. I need a mod hat here to clean up the multiples. Do you want to be a mod, Trace? Mustard, says Skick. Why don't you arrange the caravan night with Boaty tonight? And if you want, I will try and clear it with the nurse for you. Carrie Sparks, a name I don't immediately recognize, but welcome. Thank you for being with us. Margarita Pracatan was born in Cuba and died in 2020 in New York. She was 89 years old. Oh, well, bless her. Bless her. She looked a lot of fun. More like Basildon Bond Boaty than James Bond, says Jimmy Quinn. Thanks for that. John Stoodley is with us. Evening chat, evening Boaty, mate. Yes, stunningly attractive, says Claudia. You summed me up a treat. Only joking. I'm sure you're not. I'm sure all women are stunning in various ways. I watched How To, says Barry. Can you really clear it with the nurse kick, says Mustard. It's Mrs. Mustard you got to clear it with, not nurse. And Ben says, because, Father, by your own admission, you've previously been a door potterer. God, I share way too much with you lot. I share way too. I need to learn how to keep something secret. Bloody hell. But yeah. Oh gosh, look, it's 1 minute to 1 o'clock, darlings. I will give away some channel memberships. Let's go mad. Let's go mad and let's make 10 of you channel members tonight. That'll be fun, wouldn't it? Now, where's my glass? Here we go. Looking forward to this. Excuse me. 44 people watching. How splendid is that? Lovely. Right, a toast. Here's to the memory of Margarita Pracatan, and here's to all of you lovely people. Thank you for joining me tonight and every other night, and just coming along with me on this mad thing that we've ended up doing together. It means the world to me. Thank you so much. Oh, and welcome to all the newer names and newer faces as well. Lovely to have you here with us. It's getting a bit warm in here now. Oh, it was a bit chilly when I came in. See, it's no good when I'm sitting down. You can see that I love something, but you can't see what it is. Now then. Can you really clear it with an air, Skick says Mustard? Of course I can, Mustard says Skick. And Trey says, yes, indeed, Ben. Right, okay, I did. I think you should do a meetup in Wales for your fans, says Claudia. Well, that's a lovely idea. We have had a meetup in Wales at the back end of last year. Well, kind of a mini meetup. Me, Joe, Neil, and Sophie, we all went to the seaside for the night, didn't we? You lot, darlings. Yeah, we went to a place called Rhyl, the seaside on the North Wales coast. And we've all said that we would love to do it again. And of course, anybody would be very, very welcome to join us. We should have a day on the beach at Talacra. We should have lots of meetups this year, actually. I said it all winter. This year should be the year of the meetup. You should all come here for Sunday lunch as well. The M11 says, Tracy, if you keep on modding for all and sundry, you will have no time to do your own live streams. And you know Jimmy wouldn't be able to cope without them. Ah, well, there you are, you see. It was Pipkins for me during the 70s, says Dave Smith. And Trace agrees. Good point, Emma. M11 asks, does Frank have a massive stutter or amnesia or something? It's like Groundhog Day, innit? I'm always here for you, Mustard. Remember that, says Skick. Oh, it's Filth the Clock. Wine time. Oh, sorry, it's Filth the Clack. Oh, God. Wine time, Boaty. Thank you for the reminder, Trace. Live stream from me tomorrow night, asks Mustard. Is that a question or a statement? I won't be around to mod, Mustard. Night out with the daughters. Well, Skick will step in. Skick will step in and do the modding for you, Mustard. I think he's quite keen to do it, actually, and I think that he would do a jolly good job. Oh, and Skick says, don't worry, Tracy, I will step in. Excellent. Well, that's all sorted then. Everyone cancel your membership, says Jimmy. Bad books. If he does a vertical screen, I bet there's footmarks on the ceiling. Bloody hell. How tall do you think my... Oh, dear. Oh, he's getting naked. Filth. Make it rain, says Trace. Well, I can't read that one out, Dave. Skick says £100 donation to help with drink and food, etc. When you arrange the well, presumably the night in the caravan. Talacra meetup sounds good, says Claudia. Rhyl, not so much. We went to Rhyl because there are childhood memories there, and because the hotel was really cheap, and because I'd been there once before and had a bit of an interesting time. And by interesting time, I mean that I fell off the bed because it was a strange bed and everything wasn't where I expected it to be. Neil says, I think the yard barbecue will be a blast. Can we organise one, Paul? Sherry says, hate to, but I'm taking leave and I just recommended you to a Manchester native who lives in the US in Ohio, I believe. Your show just makes me want to eat and hop into bed and not alone. Oh, you little minx. Well, my living shall not be in vain if I make any of you want to eat and hop into bed, not alone. I quite fancy hopping into bed, not alone, and I quite fancy eating. One day, a mustard and boaty meetup, says Mustard. Yeah, we should totally do that. Oh, yard barbecue, says Trace. Tell me more. A very good evening, Boaty and everyone, says Andrew Buttigieg. How much have I missed? Well, you missed an hour and 6 minutes of fascinating content. It was a side shuffle and ram move, Boaty, says John. Yeah. Dear. Ha ha, says Claudia. Fell off the bed. You've defo got to do a repeat of that into Lacra. Dear. Dear. Boaty, why don't you ask that Emma out, says Skick. Well, because she's the other side of the country, Skick, and because she's probably got far better taste than to be interested in the likes of me. Dear God. I think she'd probably be insulted by that. And amazingly, I've caught up with comments. So, on that note, tell you what, let's crank this up and let's do another 5 channel memberships. So you started an hour earlier, says Andrew. Yeah, I've started an hour earlier on a Monday for the last 18 months. Have you only just noticed? Time for port and brandy, says Jimmy Quinn. Neil, he would most likely fall off her, the poor woman. It would seem that I have something of a reputation, darlings. Right, let's crank this up. There we go. Oh, straight in. Jolly good. Right, are you all ready? Right, I'll give you all a minute to just tick that I accept gifts thing, and then I'm going to hit the doings. And that means that tonight we will have no fewer than 10 lovely, shiny new channel members. Isn't that exciting? Oh, Plop's Garage is here. Right, are you ready? Oh, God, are we all about me falling? If Boaty used Viagra, he'd be less likely to fall off. Oh, dear. I wouldn't say no, says the M11. You bloody ought to. You should have higher standards for yourself, my lovely. Dear, oh, dear. Are you ready for him to fall off? Oh, God. Right, let's go, says Plop's Garage. Right, Plops is obviously... Oh, Claudia, was your dad a Peaky Blinder? I'm defo one, originally from the Black Country and then moved away. No, Claudia, my father was a Welshman from the valleys. Emma's literally taken one for the team. He's in, says Neil. Right, let's give away these channel memberships, shall we? Well, I think about it. Let's see if I can remember how to do this. I'll press that. Membership gifting. Right, here we go. Here we go. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Boom. Right, so click on the thing at the top. Click on accept gifts and we'll see who's... Oh, right then. Who's got them? Bad Books, Stephen B, Carlos Fandango, Super Wide Wheels, Name Me -1, and Mr. Stephen Parry from Port Sunlight in the Wirral, the Leisure Peninsula. Welcome to all of you, and welcome to channel membership. How do I close this down? How I do that, don't I? Then what do I do? I still haven't completely got the hang of this. I press that, don't I? And then I press that. That's right. And then this can go back into its proper place. There we go. There we go. Excellent. So, 10 lovely new channel members tonight. And bad luck those of you who wanted one but didn't get one. What's that 10 says Block Garage? I thought you were, hang on, let's go back. We got hello all, says Ross. Skick, I can't read that out. Then you're not a Peaky Blinder, says Neil. They came from Birmingham, and that means not from the Black Country. Yeah, you can't go getting your 021ers mixed up with the Yam Yams. Completely different breed. Thank you, old chap, says Mr. Stephen Parry. God, Claudia. Claudia says, M11 and Boaty, let's vote. Hands up. God. More likely to fall off with your hands up, aren't you? Hi, Ross, says Andrew. Welcome, new member, says John. What's that 10, says Plops? I thought you was giving 10 away, says Jimmy. Well, no, I've just given 5 away, but 5 were previously given away very kindly by Dave Smith. So that is 10 in total for tonight. And I should say that whenever anybody gifts channel memberships, whether it's 1 or 5 or whatever, I'm really, really, really grateful because, of course, it helps support me. But it's like a gift for me and for the channel. But it's also a gift for the community as well, because it means 5 people who otherwise, for all we know, might not have the means or the wherewithal to become channel members, and it gives them an opportunity. So I'm always doubly grateful. I think it's a really nice and kind thing to do. Neil Gibbons, I'm defo a peaky, says Claudia. Yeah, let's have a vote. Should boat drive all night to get to Emma? Is that all right? Oh, well, one of my favourite songs, that. Yeah, I drove all night. Now then, quiz time. Who sang the original of I Drove All Night? Nice and easy question. Fingers on the buzzers. First to answer wins bugger all. Thank you for not making me a channel member, says Plops Garage. You're welcome. Neil says the Black Country and Birmingham are 2 separate dialects. Black Country people speak Yam Yam and Brummies speak Uppity. If you have spoke proper, Yam from the Black Country. Neil, yes, a Yam Yam. It's all good, right, mate? Dave Smith, the hero, gave away 5, says Plops. What a guy. Absolutely. Roy Orbison says Skick. No. Peter P says Roy Orbison. No. Dino Dad Ross says Roy Orbison. No. Claudia says Roy Orbison. No. Bad Book says Elvis. No. I live in the Black Country, says John, as Neil knows. In Hales Owen. Boston, Neil, says John. Right? You know, kid? Nobody's getting it. You're all saying Roy Orbison or Elvis, and it was neither of those. The original was not the. Obviously, the Roy Orbison is well known, but it is a cover version. It was not the original. You'll all be Googling it now. I know you will. You're all terrible cheats. See, I knew it. Peter P, Cyndi Lauper, quite correct. And I bet you Googled that, didn't you? I bet you Googled that. Willie Nelson says bad books. Oh my God, says Sherry, I'm still here. It's very addictive. Emma can wait. He needs to fly across the pond directly to Florida, and then maybe I can fly back with him so I can finally escape my imprisonment. I need a change. God, I'm popular tonight. It's very flattering for an old man, isn't it? Ugh. Well, you know, what can I say? What can I say? There is a bit of spare room in the cottage. There's a bit of spare room in the bed. Bring bacon. I've got some spare cars knocking about. I'd make somebody a wonderful wife. I'm a good cook. I'm tidy. Oh my God, there's a lady fight over Boaty, says Trace. The M11 says he won't travel all the way to Norfolk, so I doubt he'll be willing to jump on an aeroplane. I've done it before, M11. As all of you regulars know, I've flown to America for a blind date. I jumped on a plane and flew to Chicago, Illinois, just to have a blind date lunch with a lady. So I've flown all over the place to have, God Almighty, I've had first dates. Think about this. I have had first blind dates in 4 continents. So yeah, I wasn't shy of traveling to meet a nice lady. Trace, get the popcorn out. We've got a fight on our hands, says Neil. And Claudia says, Neil, can you speak yam yam? Can you speak yam yam, cocker? Shall we speak black country, Neil, says John. Popcorn, I need something stronger than that, says Trace. Neil says, I'm from Gornal. Of course I speak proper. Lady wrestling names needed. Oh, that's a Peter P. That is a genius idea. That is a genius idea. Yeah. Maybe, I mean, we've done the celebrity YouTube tag team wrestling thing. Maybe we need a community tag team wrestling challenge. Maybe you should all have fighting names. Give each other. Yeah, right. So you can all join in the celebrity, because you're all celebrities. Of course you are. You're on here. Of course you're celebrities. So you can all join in the wrestling challenge thingy. So you can all have fighting names. So, but you're not allowed to choose your own. So everybody's got to come up with a fighting name for everybody else. Everybody who's commented on this live stream has to have a fighting name. Right, now then, bring that on. Trace, I'll get the champagne out. We can post the winners. I'll bring the hot oil and hot towels for the fight, says Trace. Oh dear. Well, let's take the whammel down the cut. What's a whammel? I'm not familiar with that one. Whammel? Whammel. Yeah, not familiar with that. Neil from Gornal, says Claudia. I'm Shropshire now. Oh, get you. All posh. All posh. Good plan, read these champers, Neil, says Trace. I was thinking mud wrestling, says Neil. Yeah, that's because you're a pervert. Really, Neil? Oh, right. I never knew that. Right. Apparently, the whammel thing is a dog or animal. I've never heard that one. And God knows, fiance number one, the lovely Donna, and I've told you this before, but I can't resist saying it again. We had a Renault 4 van, very low mileage. And what was it called? The Jason Donner van. Of course it was. My first fiance, now she was living in the same place as me, which was, where did I live? Redditch. That was it. But her family were Black Country. So I spent loads of time around the Black Country. Told you, the day I passed my test, that night, straight to the Crooked House. Oh, who's done a nice thing? Pocahontas 100 has gifted a channel membership. That makes 11. Who got it? Who got it? Who got it? Who got it? Oh, Cher. Blimey. Cher got it. Gosh, I didn't know Cher was a fan. She was, Oprah. I think Cher qualifies. Is she still alive? But Cher was definitely an Oprah, wasn't she? I nominate her anyway. Where did I get to? Right. Yes. The M11 says, I'm the eliminator. I'm the eliminator. I'm the eliminator. God. Oh dear. Trace says, right. So the ladies are mud wrestling now. Only in Neil's perverted mind. God almighty. I mean, ladies, lovely, fragrant, innocent ladies watching this live stream, I apologize to you for the absolute gutter that is Neil's mind. And I apologize that in his oh so vivid imagination, you are now all sliding around in the mud in bikinis. I can only apologize for that. And just let me assure you that I am not thinking about that at all. Not in the least tiny little bit much. Hardly at all. Oh, please God, don't let Mustard get in there in his swimming trunks. Oh. M11, I was thinking the squeezer, says Russ. Good one, Russ. Oh, it's a dog, Boaty, mate, says John. Yeah, right. No, Neil, I am boss lady, says Trace. And the M11 asks, Tracy, do you ref as good as you mod? If she does, you won't get any dirty moves in, says Neil. Oh, that would work, says Trace. I might have to join in. It says hot oil and mud. I'm not wrestling my sister, says M11, but it might bring in a good audience, though. Yeah, you know what? I think it might. God almighty. I mean, just imagine if in some crazy, bizarre way, we did a community meetup and for charity, we did a mud wrestling challenge. I would have the biggest channel on YouTube. Hundreds of thousands of determined perverts from around the world. It would be amazing. So let's make this happen. Let's make this mud wrestling refereed by Tracy, who will probably join in at some point. Let's make this happen and let's film it and let's make me substantially less poor. Thank you very much. God. Oh, and somebody come up with the title for this live stream, and it's got to have something to do with mud wrestling, hasn't it? Oh dear. The owners of the Crooked House, says Neil, have appealed the rebuild. They want to build it somewhere else. But my guess is it won't go through as the team behind it won't back down. I don't know how they're getting away with that. I mean, that was the most obvious arson and insurance fraud. Well, maybe not insurance fraud, I don't think they were bothered about the insurance, were they? They just wanted the space to build on. Very sad story. I mean, that was part of my teenage years and adolescence. Neil says, I'm not saying all the ladies have to do it, so why do I get called out for it? You get called out because it was your idea, Neil. You took a perfectly harmless and innocent charity tag team wrestling challenge and suddenly put them in bikinis in mud. It's outrageous and you should be thoroughly ashamed of yourself. It's a thought though, isn't it? Right, okay, well, I am all in favour of equality. So, Neil, if you want the ladies to do mud wrestling in bikinis, then you chaps have got to do it as well. So, ladies, who would like to see Neil in a skimpy pair of Speedos mud wrestling against, well, Captain Mustard? Why not? Why not? The very, very nice man versus the Camp Damp Jesus. Naked apart from a pair of Speedos in mud. I mean, actually, that would do incredibly well for the channel as well. Hashtag homoerotic. What have I done wrong? Come on, says Neil. Oh dear. Bedknob, Boaty, and Rusty Mustard. Those are our wrestling names from Claudia. Bedknob, Boaty, and Rusty Mustard. Round one. Ding. Greenwood the Dominator, says Ross. Oh, she'd like that. Oh dear. Neil says, Mustard in swimming trunks. He would need a hosepipe reel to tie his pendulous widge up. Oh, and Trey says, pendulous widge. I have deceased. God. Boaty's going to have some perverted sister fantasy fever dreams tonight. Well, hopefully. Hopefully. If I'm not too busy Googling roads to Norfolk. Oh dear. I'd need a sidekick. Chance. Norfolk and Chance. Oh dear. Mudstival, says Ross. Oh God, we've forgotten. Oh, we forgot about Untival. And what was the other one we were going to do? Was it Rearival? We had Untival. And then there was Rearival with the entrance round the back. That's where the male mud wrestling will be taking place, at Rearival. Oh God. Oh dear. Oh. Chaz Brown says, if a dog is a whammel, do some people go whammeling then? I'm going to do that. I mean, not the dogging thing, but I'm going to go to, you've seen it loads of times. It's where I film my car reviews and whatnot. I'm going to go to Shillito Woods this summer at night, and I'm going to see if there really is any of that kind of action. We were talking about that today, me and Mustard. We talk about some strange things on road trips. And I was saying that I'm not convinced. Oh, low tide at Wine Bay, darlings. I'm not convinced that dogging as a thing actually exists. I'm not convinced. I'm not convinced that anybody does it. I think that it might just be like an urban myth or something created for porn movies or something like that. I'm not convinced that anybody actually does that kind of thing. You know, not genuinely. I think it's just an urban rumor, or they're contrived things for videos to make money on or something. And Mustard came up with the idea of that he and I start a new channel where we investigate certain urban myths like dogging. So we look into it and we go undercover and, you know, try and find out if there genuinely is a subculture that gets up to that sort of thing. I mean, you can see the videos now, can't you? Mustard and Boaty do dogging. Oh my God. I've got no idea why I'm making a willy out of this. Put it down before you start singing the song. Mud wrestling on Talacra Beach. Now that will be fun, says Claudia. Well, Claudia's well up for it then, Neil. So your perverted fantasy has got legs, dear boy. Wow, Neil, says Mustard. I'm going to have to be a bit more careful who I share my OnlyFans link with now. Well, you are. And hey, Paul, says Neil, it's a smashing OnlyFans page. It's my back screen. Unfortunately, I didn't fit it all on the screen. Ed Usher is with us and says, good evening, people. Looks like I've turned up at the right time. Mankini, says Ivor Spotty Botty. Neil and Mustard, mud wrestling, says Trace. Where do I buy my ticket? Here. I am the promoter. I'm the promoter of Mudfest at Readyville. I'm not mud wrestling, Paul, says Neil. He'll choke me out with his widge. Oh, and Sophie's chiming in now, saying that Neil's naked form is for my eyes only. Hands off, ladies. Claudia says, Neil, shame about the Crooked House. Had many a good night there. Me too. The only one left is Tilted Barrel Tipton. Tracy's having a laugh at Bedknob Boaty. I think a Collins place is still there. Is the pie factory still there? The little pie factory and whichever other ones were around Tipton Way. Told you before, I very illegally used to, my first proper job, unless you count being a professional athlete, my first proper job was with Colin O'Rourke and the Little Pub Company. We started out as myself and fiance number one, Donna. We were the deputy management couple at Mad O'Rourke's Kipper House in Bradley Green. And they used to do pub crawls around the Little Pub Company things in an old Routemaster London bus. And then the driver was ill or something, couldn't do it for a couple of weeks. So I did it. I drove the bus totally illegally. But, you know, when you're that age, you just think, well, I still think the same, to be honest. I think, like, if it drives, I can drive it. And I still feel exactly the same way. You give me any kind of mechanical conveyance that you care to name, and I will drive it. I don't care what it is. Oh, dear. Yeah, Tracy's having a laugh, but A laugh at Bedknob Boaty. Bring your own mud, says Peter P. We're on the road to Norfolk. Come on inside. What's that from? We're on the road. Can't remember. I've been to Norfolk, haven't I? Mustard. We went to Norfolk a couple of times, didn't we, to pick up cars? And I used to have relatives in Norfolk, didn't I? My grandmother's sister, she lived in Norfolk, and her husband, Elvid, he was the mayor of somewhere in Norfolk, and I can't remember. Dis. That's right. Auntie Etty and Uncle Elvid, they lived in Dis, and that's in Norfolk, isn't it? I used to go there as a child, and Elvid was he was the mayor. He was actually the mayor, and I remember we went there when I was a kid, and I left Bunnet there. I was very, very young, and it wasn't a teddy bear as such, it was a rabbit, and his name was Bunnet, and I was inseparable from him. And I left Bunnet at Auntie Etty's house in Dis in Norfolk, and I was inconsolably disconsolate. And they sent it in the post, but I was about 4 days without Bunnet, and I couldn't cope up. I was only 22, for God's sake. You can't be expected to cope with that kind of trauma at that age. God, I'd forgotten all about Bunnet. He was a lovely rabbit. Oh, Breastival. Yes, I forgot about Breastival. Yes. Yeah, we were going to do Breastival, weren't we? Well done, Trace. And Andrew remembered that. We could do the wrestling in the yard, says Neil. There's tons of mud down the caravan. Make a ring out of the bricks. Yeah, we could actually. Oh, and don't forget Yachts 24 that went down before it started, says Skick. Oh, Yachts 24. Is that not a thing anymore? I'm kind of not in that circle so much these days, and that circle is not in mine. You never see Simon or Rob or obviously Matt. So is Yachts 24 not a thing anymore? God knows I made enough of a fuss about it. I'd forgotten about Breastival. Sloppy seconds, anyone, says Ed Usher. And Neil says, Skick, that went down like the Titanic. Oh, come on. All the fuss they made about Yachts 24, it must still be a thing. Or is it no longer a thing, so I haven't got a Streetwise? I do miss Barney sometimes, you know. There's a Streetwise knocking about on Facebook. The guy wants to do a swap, but he didn't say what for. And it's like the ultimate Streetwise. It's pre-facelift, it's diesel, it's the correct color, silver. Although I am thinking that maybe I'll get rid of all of my silver cars and replace them all with cars that are white gold too, because it's just a better color, really, isn't it? I love the color of the 600, and I love the 600. Oh, it was so good driving that today. It was just perfect. Honestly, I was driving down the motorway. This is before I picked Mustard up. I've got my arm on the perfectly positioned leather armrest. I'm just tickling along at like 60 odd miles an hour. You can't hear the engine. It's just utterly quiet. There's not a squeak or a rattle from the car anywhere. I'm in total comfort, absolute total comfort. The suspension is so compliant and wonderful that you could run over a cat's eye and not feel it. And I remember just driving along that and I thought, this is just like the perfect car. Rover 600s are amazing, absolutely amazing. And I can't think of a car that I would like better, apart from a Rolls-Royce Silver Shadow, or Silver Spirit, or Camargue, or a Bentley 8, or a Bentley Turbo R, or a Lamborghini Espada, or a Bristol 412, or a Bristol Beaufort. Well, I can think of lots of cars that I would prefer. But not at the same price point, in fairness. God, did you see that Rover 600 on Facebook that Simon bought? He hasn't picked it up yet. I think everybody thought that it was a fake. That beautiful white Rover 400. Loads of work done to it. The body looked immaculate. It had just been upgraded with a full grey leather interior. MOT'd, everything good. Loads of money spent on it. And the guy said, the only reason I'm selling it is because of my age and I can't get in and out anymore. And I want 400 quid for it. 400 quid. And everybody's going, oh, you look at the profile, it's fake and whatnot. And Simon's bought it, hasn't he? And apparently, he even paid more than the asking price because he said it was too cheap. But it's a 620 SLI auto, and it looks stunning. Anybody see that? We were too slow off the mark. It had sold by the time we got to it. I think, says the M11, I was actually dogged as a 19-year-old, but didn't realise at the time. Well, I mean, tell us more. I mean, what? So you thought you were just having a bit of one-on-one private action, and unexpectedly there were other people at the location. I mean, I might not be am I correct in what I think dogging is? It's, God, I shouldn't go too far into that. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. One more thing, says Sherry for the 18th time, and and don't think wrongly of me, but I literally have gotten into English cucumbers for salads. Sorry, Sherry. I shouldn't be amused that you've literally got into English cucumbers. Well, could be worse. Could be the other way around. They could have got into you. Oh dear. This live stream has kind of typical Monday, isn't it? It's kind of gone into a slightly wrong place, but we've all gone into the wrong place, haven't we, darlings? And sometimes the wrong place turns out to be just the right place. We need to talk about it. Oh dear. One more thing. Don't think wrongly. I literally got into English cucumbers for salads. A thing that I had delivered, and it was the longest ever. Is that why they're called English? I don't know. Sean would be the man to. Sorry, I'm waving my metaphorical willy at you. Sean would be the man to ask about that. He knows about cucumbers and stuff. Is there any date mooted for the barbecue at all? Not that I'm aware of, Trace. Oh, and it's a Talking Heads ref. We're on the road to nowhere. Yeah, you might well be right, Skick. Ed Usher says, Boaty, I can actually tell you dogging exists. Does it really? I want to go. I want to go and see what happens. Trace, I'd say summer for the barbecue, so fingers crossed, nice weather. Keep me in the loop, Neil, says Grace. Would you like to be invited to dogging in Sussex, asks Ed Usher. Well, I was hoping for something a bit more local, to be honest. I mean, the problem with traveling, darlings, is that I kind of work quite a bit. And so I love traveling. I love road trips. If I had the money, I would very happily spend the rest of my life just driving. I mean, I would love to have, no, don't do that. I love driving. Any excuse for a long drive, I will take it. I adore driving. Excuse me. And the only reason I wouldn't do it is time and or money. So like Mondays, I would love to be all over the place on a Monday, but you know, the old fuel costs, they do. And of course, episode 2 now done, or I mean, I've still got to make the film, but the content has all been filmed now. So now my thoughts and my savings have got to go to episode 3 when I need to go to South Wales, and today wasn't too bad. Obviously, I'm back home. I'm not in a hotel, so cha-ching, money saved. And today in fuel cost me about 60 quid, and a spot of lunch for me and mustard, and a bit of car park fees. So you know, like 80 quid all in, and that's kind of reasonable, isn't it? But doing the South Wales ones, then you're looking at at least double that in fuel, maybe more, and throw in a hotel and throw in a bit more money on food and whatnot. Although next time I plan to take my own to keep the cost down. But I adore driving, and I'm addicted to some of the van life channels. I think that looks amazing. I mean, it probably isn't. And sometimes I think, God, I'd love to do that. And it was kind of my fallback plan. Where if I ever lost this place, I thought, well, I'll sell all the cars, buy a van, and do the van life thing. I mean, I can't imagine anything better than spending your days driving, but you're driving in your own house. And then you can park up somewhere amazing for the night. Now, I'm sure that like a lot of these things, you look at it and it looks romantic and it looks wonderful, but then the reality is that you're shitting into a plastic bucket that you have to hurl out over somebody's garden fence, and I'm sure you would miss all of the comforts of living in a bricks and mortar home. But I love that idea. I do love that idea. I would love to have a camper van, or you know, just that would be. I was planning to do it. I was planning to do it before the pandemic. So before the YouTube channel and everything, and before Chinese Madam came along, it was kind of in between. It was after I'd left Boo, come back here, and before Chinese Madam moved herself in. And I thought that, right, this is what I'm going to do. I'll get, I started checking out van conversions or cheap camper vans, and they were really cheap then. And I thought, I would love to, on a Monday, I would love to just take off on a Monday morning in my camper, drive to somewhere beautiful in Wales or somewhere like that, do the overnight wild campy bit in your nice camper, drive back on Tuesday. And I was genuinely gonna do that, but then the pandemic hit and all of the prices, because foreign travel was out, all of the prices of camper vans and stuff just went absolutely through the roof. Totally through the roof. And it just became an impossibility. And then Chinese Madam landed and life went mad for that year. But I still dream about it. I still think it would be, you know, an awesome way of going along. Maybe not full time, you know, maybe it'd be too much to do it full time, but I just love it as an idea. I'd probably hate it in practice. Now, many years ago, when I had the dealership, I took a Renault proper camper van thing, based on a Renault Traffic, but a proper one, not a converted one. I took it in part exchange. I think I gave $1,000 for it in PX. And I thought, that's cool. I'll buy that. So I just bought it out of the company. And it stayed parked up outside my place for about 9 months and I didn't use it once. So I sold it. God, I wish I still had that now. But yeah, I just love driving. It's probably one of my favorite things. I love just being out on the road, the sense of movement, the actuality of it. So that was a long answer to would I like to be invited dogging in Sussex? Yeah, I would, but I prefer somewhere a bit more local as it would be more convenient. Paul and Boaty's barbecue, quality sausage and cracking baps. Absolutely. And the winner of the muddy reardival gets to spend the night in the caravan, says Peter P. Oh, God. Oh, the pie factory is still there, says Neil. Oh, and Claudia also says, brilliant. That's good. And is it still the pie factory? Is the little pub company still a thing? Is Colin O'Rourke still alive? Is his wife, Sheena was his wife. She was lovely. Colin was all right as well. Mad as a box of frogs, but he was all right. We nearly went past it, says Neil, when you picked me up to get the 600. Oh, and Sofa agrees. Yeah, the factory is still there. The pub is not the best. You know, well, it never was. M11 was whammeled. Good God. As Peter K would say, whammeling. The filling, they only put a small amount and a lot of pastry. Oh, the Desperate Dan cow pie. The Desperate Dan cow pie. Now, what I used to eat was, now, we never served chips in the pubs, in the little pub company pubs. We wouldn't have chips on the menu. And what I used to eat most nights was a Desperate Dan cow pie, but not with the Desperate Dan filling. I had chili con carne and rice, but then I did a massive thing in the pie dish, and I put the pastry and the horns on just for shits and giggles. I've done the same, says Neil. I moved a recovery lorry once for one of the lads in the yard. I shouldn't have, but sod it. He'll drive anything, but it must have a perfect clutch, says Bad Books. I drove, it doesn't have to have a perfect clutch. I drove a Mark II Jaguar from Wednesbury to the dealership at Portway with no clutch. And it's not impossible. And I don't need to have I can drive a car without a clutch. I think most people can, can't they? But that's something that's okay as a one-off, but you don't want it on your daily car. It's a lot more convenient if you actually have a clutch. Hubnut did it, didn't he? That stupid Renault Twango, whatever it was that he bought. Was it? No, it was a Fiat, wasn't it? Oh, it was a Fiat Multipla. That stupid thing that he bought for God knows what reason, and I had to sell it an enormous loss. He had to deliver that to the buyer, didn't he, without a clutch? It's not too difficult. Was the clutch slipping in? Was the clutch slipping in the bus as well? Oh, yeah. I remember the bus pub crawl, says Claudia. Do they still exist? I don't know. Boaty, come to Shrewsbury or Shrewsbury. We will book the Sabrina party boat. Ship ahoy. Sounds good. I would like to go. I'll tell you where I would like to go. That's probably not a million miles from there. I would like to go back to Bridge North. That would be a memory thing for me. I haven't been to Bridge North for so long. Maybe 30 years? Must be 30 years. And that's not a million miles away, is it? I'll wager a large amount the clutch was slipping when he finished with it, says Neil. And Mustard says, clutching at straws again, you're better in an auto. Bollocks to all of you. Right. I happen to have a vehicle with a slipping clutch. And I have another vehicle where the clutch did slip once. And probably would again if I drove it badly. That does not mean that I cannot drive a car with a clutch, right? I've got loads of manual cars. I've had thousands of manual cars, and I don't do the clutches. I don't ride the clutch. I don't drive back. Bollocks to all of you. You piss-taking arseholes. Oh, we delivered a Streetwise to Norfolk, says Mustard. Ah, yeah, I can't remember what it was called. They were nice people. Those people. Yeah, that's right. We delivered a Streetwise to a specialist place. Yeah, that's right. That was in Norfolk. I'm trying to remember what car we did that in. Was that a double Streetwise journey? Did we deliver the Streetwise and come back in the other Streetwise? Because that was the point where we had two, wasn't it? Or did we do it in something else? I honestly can't remember. Oh, wasn't that the journey? It was, wasn't it? That was the one where I did the I did your meat manifold thing, and when I set off, I put a sausage roll in the engine to, God, what car was it? I can't remember what car it was, but I remember putting a sausage roll in the engine. And when we met up at I think we met up on the A1, didn't we? And my sausage roll, a bit of it was slightly burned, but the rest of it was warm and delicious. I remember that. I agree. Oh, bollocks, Neil. One less thing for him to break. Sod off. You've broken more cars than me recently, Neil. Sherry says, I hope I don't get punished. Of course you won't get punished, unless you want to. A little gentle spanking, perhaps. Hope I don't get punished for speaking sinfully on Passover night. But I don't have a Seder dinner to go tonight, so I guess this will have to do, and I will be forgiven. I'm sure you will be. I can't read that out, Ed Usher. Pixar, it didn't happen, says What? Mustard, I can't read that out. And you know very well why we don't have one of those fights. You would have a significant weight advantage, sir. It wouldn't be fair. Fight Neil. Only a semi, says Neil. I'm ready to go. Okay. Suddenly Neil has piqued my interest, says the M11. Sorry, Ed. That's it. A lady's always going to take the rampant over the semi, aren't they? When was it? Wasn't this morning, was it? Yesterday morning. I'm a chap, and I know that it's a thing, morning glory, all of that. Yesterday morning, dear God, I mean, it just. Oh, it was Barney. Thank you, Mustard. Yesterday morning was just, oh dear me. Nothing worked. Nothing worked. I got up. Well, I woke up and, I thought, right, okay, so you go to the loo. That sometimes works. Piss proud, all of that. Didn't work. I slammed it in the bathroom door a couple of times. That didn't work. Sort of, I had to go downstairs walking backwards so I didn't knock the pictures off the wall. God almighty, it was, oh. Those are the times when you really regret being single, because with that, I could have given a very special lady the best 23 seconds of her life. Ugh. Rules of being over 50. Rules to live by if you're over 50. Never pass a lavatory. Never trust a fart. Never waste a stiffy. I'll put that on Sean's card for his birthday tomorrow. Ed, have you come across Boaty's bedtime stories? Oh, God, don't bring the bedtime stories up. Has the M11 come across the bedtime stories? Jimmy Quinn has gifted a membership as well. My God, that's 12 channel members tonight. Thank you, Jimmy. That's a very kind thing to do. Goodness me. It's channel memberships a go-go on Monday night. Goodness. Oh, Neil said, I sent you and Paul that 600. It was nice. And for 400 quid, an absolute bargain. It was ridiculously cheap. Ridiculously cheap. Yes, says the M11. Here we go. Yes, says the M11. I thought I was doing the deed on a car bonnet in a field, and I thought we were alone. Too long a story to put on here. Oh God, I've got a few car bonnet stories. Fiance number, oh no, was she a fiance? I think she was. Citroen CX. I recommend for car bonnet pottering, I heartily recommend a Citroen, because you can raise or lower the suspension to the exact height required, if you know what I mean. God, yeah, that was Mandy, wasn't it? And she had this, I can't tell you on it. I'll get thrown off. She had a particular fantasy that she wanted to live out. So we did. And I got really panicky in the middle of it because she got really into character and started saying things. And I stopped and I said, oh my God, I'm sorry. I thought we were doing this. And she said, no, we are. Carry on. You're doing really well. Oh dear. I'll write my own biographical bedtime stories, says the M11. The wrong holes. God, I don't know where these comments are going. Oh dear. Done that down by the crooked house, says Neil. Didn't realise the waste site had 24-hour security guards who was watching me and the female in question on the bonnet of my Mark II Focus. Again, we've all done that. We've all been in a place where we thought we were unsupervised and then found that there were security cameras. The one I remember. We'd taken, my ex-wife and I had taken the last born to university, And so we'd set her, and that was in Preston, I think it was. And we were driving back. We were in the Lexus RX. And on the drive back, I just started feeling fruity. And it just really came over me. And I thought, I fancied a bit of good old school backseat action. So I drove into Lineker Reservoir, where I used to walk the dog. And and Mrs. Boaty was the artist formerly known as Mrs. Boaty, was a willing and able accomplice. And so we moved to the back seat, and it was only after we'd finished that looked up and saw there was a bloody security camera about 10 feet away from us. Oh, fucking hell. So, yeah, you can guarantee that went into some security guard's wank bank. Cucumber, says Trace. I eat about... I eat about 8 baby cukes a day at the moment, dipped in cheese. And I can't make that sound any cleaner. If Boaty can't travel to the dogging, somebody needs to bring the dogging to Boaty, says the M11. Yeah, Shillito Woods, just up the road. Apparently, and it would be a lovely dogging location. I mean, it's a lovely spot. And it's ever so convenient for me. I mean, it's like less than 10 minutes drive away. Oh, I'm so sorry. Darlings, look at the time. I'm getting hungry. And a bit horny. It's time to let you good people go, isn't it? Start saying you good night. I need a title for this live stream. And, oh, God. Try not to make it so filthy that I'll get thrown off YouTube. And you lovely people having given me, oh, gosh, 2 hours and 8 minutes of your fabulous time. It's time to let you go. I need to get outside of some curry. I need to really concentrate on finishing the rest of this wine. And tonight, because I'm a bit short of wine, didn't get to the old shop, I'm going to finish my night off with the little bit of vodka that I've got left from episode 1 of the Wales thing and that mad night in the Premier Inn in, where was it? Cumbach. It was Cumbach. That was a brilliant live. I loved that one. Looking forward to doing the next one. I'll stay in the same place for the next South Wales episode. So say your good night. Come up with the live stream title. Before I forget, massive thanks to everybody who gifted channel memberships tonight, and welcome to the new channel members. Now then, I'll whiz through these comments before we bugger off. Skick says, have you ever thought of having a taxi boat? Well, I've not only thought of it, I've had them. I owned 2 London taxis, a Metro cab and an FX4. I didn't use them as taxis. I just bought them because I fancied having some taxis. And they were brilliant and I loved them. I would love another one. And Morris, the Metro cab, I drove him with my family all the way across France, including a mad few days in Paris, when I used to drive up and down the Champs-Élysées at midnight, playing Joe Le Taxi at full volume with the kids and the artist formerly known as Mrs. Boaty in the back. And we were treated like royalty. It was like we were in it's like we were in the Queen's car. Everybody was giving us room and everybody was waving and cheering. It was fantastic. Honestly, if you want an easy drive around Paris, drive a London taxi. They will love you for it. And I love them. And I keep looking at taxis and I would love another one. I would love a TX1 or a TX2, ideally a gold, and I think they're fabulous. And yeah, so yes, yes, Skick, I've owned them in the past, and I would love to own one again. One of my favourite driving experiences. I had that taxi. Robin, the FX4, I didn't have him for so long. I didn't get on so well with him. But Morris, the Metro cab, I had him for ages. Ages. And the reason I bought him was when I met the artist formerly known as Mrs. Boaty, I was a man about town, a bit of an international jet setter. When I first met her, I think I'd just come back from living in the States, or was it Ukraine? Oh, it was Ukraine. I'd done the States, and I'd just come back from living in Ukraine. And we were together for a while, and then we split up, and then I went and lived in Africa, and and Cyprus. And then we kind of got together properly. And of course, then I had, I think I had 2 Porsche. I think I had a Ferrari. I think I had a Ferrari at the time. And suddenly I've got a partner who had 4 children. So I needed something that I could include everybody in. And I thought, well, I don't want to buy a family wagon 7-seater MPV. That's boring. So I thought, what can I buy? So I thought, I know, I'll buy a stretch limo. That'll be a laugh. I'll buy a stretch limo. I'll LPG it. I'll gas it up, so that. And I went down to London to buy a stretch limo for a family car. And it was no good. The problem with stretch limos, well, there are lots of problems with stretch limos. If you get a massive stretch, then you can't get the bloody thing round normal corners. But I ended up buying Morris, this really nice Metro cab, brilliant thing. And it was the perfect family transport because I kitted it all out in the back. I put TV screens in there, DVD players, everything, you name it, made it absolutely fabulous. But the best thing about it was I'm up front driving and you know what kids are like on a long road trip. And I could just shut the thing. I've got my own sound system in the front. They've got all of their entertainment in the back. And it was brilliant. I loved it. Although I did eventually, I swapped it for, well, not swapped it. I sold it, and I bought a Previa, a wide body 8-seater Previa, and that was called Big Mama. And Maggie just kind of immediately took that over, and that was the family bus for, oh God, years. And when we got the cottage in Wales, that was the transport for that, and that was an amazing thing. I used to call it a mid-engine supercharged bed, and we took that. Oh God, well, I mean, it did the daily grind, it did the school run, it did the commute, and it did the Wales trip most weekends. And for a few years, it did the road trip down to San Sebastian. Fantastic thing. I bought another one as well. Big Mama was a manual. And like I say, Maggie sort of took it over. And that was a wide body. So I bought an import version, a Toyota Lucida, I think it was. And that was the narrow body, so only a 7-seater. But it was automatic, and it had electric curtains and all of that thing, and it had the captain's chairs and all of that, and that was fabulous as well. That was called Big Black Mama, And we actually went on our honeymoon in that, believe it or not. Yeah, we did. And that did a massive tour all round Ireland. Oh, brilliant. My neighbours must be getting pissed off with my screeching, says Grace. Sherry said, you just said the magic word to me in cars. Never thought I'd be on a chat about cars, but my dream car was a vintage purple Rolls Royce that I once saw a photo of in an auto magazine. Oh, well, Sherry, if you go to the headquarters of MGM, then you will see a Rolls Royce that they very kindly bought from me and paid £1 million for. And it's a rather nice thing. And the back of that Rolls Royce saw quite a bit of action. Oh, yes. Neil says, I'm sure there was what? Hang on. Boaty, did you know that Jimmy Buffett was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? I didn't, but that is amazing. That is amazing news. I'm genuinely chuffed about that. Bad Book says an ex-colleague did dogging, doing over 60,000 miles a year in his company car. When he left, his company's email had offers from ladies to meet all over the country and had a fake profile on a dogging website. Bloody hell. I did the NC 500 in camp van, says Claudia, and it was amazing. Oh, I bet that would be a dream come true for me. Dream come true. Desperate Dan had a huge beer belly, says Mustard. Quite right. Desperate Dan's bangers. Oh, dear. Come down one of the weeks, mate, says Neil. It hasn't changed at all. We can do Bridgnorth and Starport. I'd love to do that. I would love to do that. I love Bridgnorth, says Claudia. No, not so far from Shrewsbury, and a must-see's Iron Bridge. Yeah, absolutely. I just love Bridgnorth. I love the dichotomy between high town and low town. I love the funicular railway. Oh, lovely. I've broken one, says Neil. You've broken the Freelander, clutch, Andy Pandy, clutch, and you said Nigel's clutch is high, but Paul can drive. No, right, no. Okay, right. Mustard broke Andy Pandy's clutch by putting a stupid map on him and driving like a hooligan. The Freelander was just ready to go. It was, already past the normal replacement date. And the clutch on Nigel is high. I'm not having that. Oh, and the channel membership that Jimmy Quinn very kindly gifted was acquired by GeoDR. So there we are. Thank you again, Jimmy. Really appreciate it. Clutch equals clutch. Oh, bollocks. Who are these names getting the gifted memberships? Demands the M11. I guess I have to raid my piggy bank. It's 99p, my lovely. If it's a deal breaker, I will gladly send it to you. Just send me a naked photograph of yourself, and I will very gladly send you by PayPal, by return, £1, and you can keep the penny change. Oh, God. Amanda hug and kiss. Title, Dogging with Boaty, says Jimmy. What's that vodka you like? Spruce something, says Skick. My favourite vodka is, I'll show you the empty bottle. This is the best vodka in the world. Grey Goose. Beautiful French vodka. Now, my father, God rest his soul, incredibly unusually, after I'd really gone well and truly over the top for him. I can't remember what it was I'd done, and he wanted to buy me something nice. And he didn't do things like that, my dad. But I really had, it was when it was after Mum had died and whatnot, and I was divorced, working all the hours of God's end. And, when I got a day off, I would go down to him and do all of his stuff. And one day he said, I don't know where I'd be without you. I really don't. And he wanted to buy me something nice to drink and took me to his favorite local off license. And he said, what do you really like? What would be a massive treat? And I said, Grey Goose vodka. It's amazing. And he said, right. He said, whatever the guy's name was, a bottle of Grey Goose vodka for my son, please. And he said, certainly, that'll be whatever it was, £40. And my dad panicked. Said, what? Have you got half a bottle? So he bought me half a bottle of Grey Goose. And because it was the one and only time my dad did something like that, I've kept the bottle. This is the actual bottle that my dad bought me. I've had it for, I don't know, Dad's been dead for God knows how many years. So I've had it a while. And when I get a bit of vodka, I tend to put it in here for old times and memories' sake. And because God knows I'll never be able to afford to buy myself a bottle again. Oh dear. Carrie Sparks comes up with a live stream title, Backdoor Pottering with the Boatmeister. I'll screenshot all of these. Title, Going Down the M11. Oh, that's closer, Jimmy. Boating and keeping your pecker up on a Monday live. Video title, We're on the road to Boaty, dogging inside. London taxi. Oh, bollocks, fuck off, mustard. Oh, dear. Ross says it would get me a cucumber, I guess, that 99p. Oh, dear. Title, Filling Potholes, live with Boaty. Oh, dear. Taking the Whammel dogging down the col. I agree. Andrew's title for the win, says M11. And that title was, let's remember it, We're on the road to Boaty's, dogging inside. Right. That is screenshotted. That is the lead contender at the moment. Title, Mud Wrestling with Mustard. Good night, all. I'm off to get one's needs met, says Ed Usher. Oh, dear. Dagging. Do I really speak like that? We're on the road to Boaty's, dagging inside. Oh, well, that would get me out of trouble, wouldn't it? Because dogging is probably that might do it. Oh, Ross has come up with a good one as well. Title, We've all been clacked dagging. That's funny, actually. This was really fun, says Shelley. From Cuddy to Nuts is my title. Night owl, I still have many hours to go and hopefully pack. You're still live, says Simone. I think you'd be sleeping by now. We're just about to bugger off, Simone. I buggered off as I was hungry, and now I'm wrapped up in bed with the cat. And on that note, I've caught up with the comments. Many thanks to those Dave Smith and it was Jimmy Quinn, wasn't it? And also Pocahontas 100. Many thanks to the three of you who gifted the channel memberships. It's really kind. I'm very grateful, as are the people who received them. Welcome to all the new channel members, and just thank you so much for being with me on this Monday night live. I'm a bit knackered. God, it's 25 past. We've ploughed on a bit, 2.5 hours, darlings. I'm literally now just going to get some curry on, get that eaten, finish the wine off, have a vodka and tonic, watch 20 minutes of YouTube, and then I'm going to fall unconscious in bed. And tomorrow, I can't wait to start editing today's video, getting it all together. Like I say, it's going to take 2 or 3 days of work. There will be a daily diary for you channel members going up tomorrow morning, but it will be Sundays because I'm a day behind now. And please join me tomorrow night, a little bit later, 11 o'clock, same place for Tuesday Night Live. And there we are. There we are. Good night, lovely people, and good night to you, lovely Boaty. Good night, M11. How long does it take to get to Norfolk? Wasn't that long, was it? I did it on one sausage roll when we delivered that streetwise. I should be here tomorrow, says Trace. Lovely. Good night, everyone, says Mustard. I need a wee, says Trace. Bye, Boaty and all, says Jimmy. Thank you all, and Boaty. Great live, great sister, says Trace. Good night, all. Great live, says Peter P. Andrew says, have a fantastic night, everyone. Start for now. Night all from Ross, Dino Dad. And on that note, he said, banging his metaphorical willy on the table, I'm going to bugger off. I need to eat, little bit more to drink, and then proper old sleepies. I'm ready for it. I've had a fantastic day. Massive thanks to Captain Mustard for really going out of his way to just do today with me. I'm so grateful. It means more than you know. Yeah, I'm really grateful. And thank you to all of you guys for just being along with me. And just thank you. Of course, around the caravan trace. Get it waving. Darlings, I'll see you tomorrow night, 11 o'clock. Please have a safe and peaceful night. Have the best day that you can tomorrow. Take great care of yourselves, and all the love in the world from me. I'm so grateful to you and for you. Have a great night. Pachu, and indeed. Oh, yes, yes, yes. Bosh.